Yo, what's good, man? Hit that thumbs up button. This is just something that was going across my mind because I was at home. I was watching the Locks. They did this interview on Charlemagne show. What's it called? The God's Honest Truth, right? That's what they call it. And the interview was really boring. Styles tried to save it. Jada and them was, they were kind of spaced out, kind of high. And I'm sitting there watching Charlemagne with all of this makeup, bad makeup. He looks like a mortician did it. And I'm watching them. They got the Kevin Samuels kind of setting with the leather couch set up and the dim lights. And I'm like, this is the same exact show that they've done with Charlemagne like two other times before. What's the difference between this and Charlemagne and Friends? Or Uncommon Sense? They did the same thing where they had these panel-like shows, which we got a million of them today. Not Regina King, Jada Pinkett's got Red Table Talk. Taraji's got some mental health show on Facebook. Everybody's got a damn panel show or a podcast. Flavor Flav got a podcast, for God's sakes. Everybody. So you gotta really differentiate yourself in order to stand out. And it's the same old stuff that they've done with Charlemagne before. Now, the biggest story, and someone keeps saying Jessica Reed was 15. Yeah, she was. How did he get this with rape allegation charges hanging over his head that he's addressed in the past and then flared back up over the summer when he tried to come after Kwame? And that's because Charlemagne has friends in high places. Friends like Stephen Colbert, who's a proud Democrat, who's also executive producing the show. Charlemagne's been on there a few times with him, he and Ha Hein. But because Charlemagne's been in the back pocket of the Democrats for some years now. AOC, Kamala, when Kamala was running for office, he was running around going to HBCUs, helping Kamala try to, get votes. You know what I mean? So when he did that interview with Joe Biden, and Joe Biden says, "You're not black if you don't vote for me," they liked that. And they said, "Oh, Charlemagne's good at interviewing politicians," because every Democratic person you could think of has come on the Breakfast Club. That's their platform. So they bring him on here, and that's how he's able to get this show. And then it also helps that Chris McCarthy, the president of MTV Entertainment, Viacom, is also good friends with Charlemagne. So when that go along, get along gang stuff is actually real. You know what I'm saying? When you got friends in high places, you can do certain things like Charlemagne the Lesser Charge and have all this dirt under you and still get rewarded television shows. Now they had already they were already gonna give him the show in the works last year, but the pandemic hit, so they pushed it back. So now they put the show out there. I don't hear any noise about it. I don't hear anybody talking about it. You already got shows like Trevor Noah on there. How much diversity do you need? It's Comedy Central. So naturally, people are going to want to laugh. You turn on Comedy Central to laugh, not to hear about politics, not to hear about race. And yeah, white people, believe it or not, all black folks do not just sit back and think about white people and race all day. I can tell you, I don't. We don't sit there and just think about y'all and racism all day. You could come to a black barbershop. You come to, when I'm conversating with my friends, colleagues, we barely even acknowledge y'all like that. We don't be thinking about y'all like that all day. So it's like a lot of these race-heavy shows, it's kind of like redundant. It's kind of like worn down. Like, okay, we get it. When I turn to Comedy Central, I want to laugh. I don't want to talk about, typical race relations. We got the news for that. We got other platforms for that. Stick to the script. But this Chris McCarthy guy is trying to change the vision of Comedy Central. They're trying to be more multicultural, they say, and they've gotten rid of certain shows, and they cut Jeff Ross off completely. Jeff Ross helped build that network with all of those roast appearances. He had a rape charge last year. They dropped Jeff Ross, but because Charlemagne is in bed with Chris McCarthy, he gets a show about the same shit. And I think they do little skits. They do little sketches. To me, it's like, do something different. This generation doesn't have an in living color. Why don't you get a bunch of young Instagram internet comedians and say, okay, let's do a sketch. Charlemagne's not funny, but he's funny enough to be a host. But he's not funny enough to have a Comedy Central show. There's no comedy in that. Steve Colbert is a comedian. Jon Stewart was a comedian. There's nothing comedic about Charlemagne the whole. And like I said, this is why the shock jocks have a hard time crossing over. He's trying to water down his style to cross over, and it's not working. it comes across boring because you can't get away with all of that silly shit on TV that you can on a radio show. All that stuff, all them butt jokes him and Envy make, all that nonsense, that stuff isn't gonna fly on Fox. That ain't gonna fly on NBC or this network, that network. But see, the Democrats are trying to put themselves in position for the election for the next few years. If they could get young people who watch Comedy Central to watch these liberal shows like Trevor Noah and Charlemagne, that they could secure the vote for the next election. That's what it really comes down to. So Charlemagne's allegiance to the Democrats is what's giving him these opportunities. Plus, he changed his skin color, and they piled the makeup. I mean, that is some bad makeup. That looks like he went to the morgue and got it done. I'm like, damn, what? I mean, but you just don't hear nothing. I hear people talking about other shows. You don't hear nobody talking about this. I'm like, what is so different and special about this show that we haven't seen with other shows in the past that he's done, or just in general with television? But y'all want to keep pushing the same old rhetoric, the same old propaganda. It's like, yes, racism, it does exist in America, but I need someone serious. I can't take Charlemagne that serious to listen to him talk politics all day. I'm sorry. The man who calls people donkeys of the day, and the man that, got a lesser charge and does all of this nonsense. I'm supposed to listen to his politics? I'm saying the man that sniffed, whose chair? Did he sniff Jennifer Lopez's chair? Whose chair did he sniff when they got up on the Breakfast Club? Was it Kelly Rowland? He sniffed their chair, but then he preaches about mental health. I'm like, nah, man. Like, I didn't want this show to fail. But I just thought it was going to be something different. But no, it's the same old show that they've done. This is some of the shows that he's done over the years. Hood State of Union, Girl Code, Guy Code, Uncommon Sense with Charlemagne, and Charlemagne and Friends. It's the same concept, just a different network. You usually take a show, you pitch the pilot to different networks. Him and his team have been pitching the same pilot to the same networks every year for the last, I don't know how long. Same shit, but he keeps getting these opportunities because he got friends in high places. So that's why he's kind of untouchable, or he's Teflon. They're rolling out the red carpet right now. They got him going on. He did an interview with Trevor Noah. They got Stephen Colbert in the commercial. Him and Stephen Colbert are on the dirt road driving to South Carolina. I mean, they're rolling it all out for him, man. Because I'm like, how is this guy? Most guys, when they get a rape charge, and I know that's from 20 years ago, but when that stuff flares back up, most of these networks, especially now, they back off you. Oh, no, we can't deal with that guy. He's got those kind of rumors out about him. That didn't, they didn't care. And shout out to Jessica Reed and her family. But yeah, this creep is still out there putting out content, bad content. It's like, there's nothing funny about the show. There's nothing informative about the show. Everybody has a damn podcast or a roundtable talk show, but just talk about something, just do something different. There's nothing that stands out in this show. Everything just looks everything looks just forced, really forced. Like, I'm looking at one, Decrackify America. Leonard unpacks why America needs a decrackification. I guess that's supposed to be funny. You know what I mean? That's a joke. Charlemagne examines America's conservative backlash against this. So yeah, like I say, this is a democratic show. And like I say, comedy should never be selective for just a certain audience. Like, I don't know any comedian that goes out and says, oh, this joke right here is for the black people. This joke right here is for the bigots. Or this joke right here is for the liberals. This joke right here is for the conservatives. Like, a joke is a joke. You shouldn't just exclude a certain crew of people just because. So, of course, I guess they're going to run all the bigots off, all the viewers that, are bigots. They're going to run them off Comedy Central with stuff like this. I'm like, let's just keep politics out of comedy by any means. Patrice and them, they wouldn't give Patrice a show, and he used to do Tough Talk. Tough Talk was great. And all of those guys, Greg Giraldo, all those guys, they wouldn't give them a show, but they give this sleazeball a show, the lesser charge. But let me know if you watched this show, if you care to watch it, if it's good or not. Maybe I'm bugging, but this show is trash. Let me know what y'all think about Charlemagne the God's TV show, The God's Honest Truth.